The LV County Championship's bottom team, Leicestershire, had another indifferent day as they came out second best to Surrey on the opening day of their latest match at Grace Road. After Matthew Hoggard won the toss and batted, Leicestershire were one down with only 3 runs on the board as Matthew Boyce edged a drive off Tim Linley behind. With nothing left to play for in this competition and a big day to come in the T20 on Saturday, Leicestershire filled their middle order with inexperienced youngsters, which meant that the likes of Will Jefferson had a bit more pressure on him. The tall opener was doing okay until he tried to leave a ball from Linley and dragged it back on to go for 14 at 22 for 2. That soon became 35 for 3 when Greg Smith gave Linley his 3rd wicket in an excellent opening spell, Tom Maynard taking the good low catch. Then in the next over, 17-year-old Shiv Thakur playing in just his 2nd championship match, nicked Xander de Brain to Chris Jordan to depart for 10 at 37 for 4. So now Leicestershire had 2 championship debutants at the crease. The right-hander was 21-year-old Ned Eckersley, for whom this was his maiden first-class innings. His partner was another lad of the same age, Rob Taylor, no relation to James, who was missing with England. This Taylor has played a handful of first-class games before for nearby Loughborough University. Between them, they were able to more than double the total in 12 overs before Eckersley mistimed a pull shot off Stuart Meeker and was caught in the deep by Jason Roy. The youngsters kept on coming in as Leicestershire rightly gave them a chance. Next in and out was Paul Dixie, who'd made 4 when he drove De Brain to Jordan in the covers to leave his side on 96 for 6. Taylor, though, did impress hugely. Not only did he play his shots, but he did so with his side crumbling around him. He has scored a first-class 100 with the University before, oddly enough against Leicestershire, but that would have paled into insignificance when this shot took him to his maiden championship 50. It was a delightful way to get there too, with a crisp boundary, the 5th of an innings which had thus far lasted 79 balls. Alas for him, wickets continued to fall at the other end. Jigger Naik was the 7th man out with a score on 133 when he was bowled by the England Lion Meeker via his inside edge. Claude Henderson was something of a father figure in this lineup, so he won't have been too pleased not to set a better example than this. Dilly-dallying out of his crease after surviving a leg before appeal, he was run out by Maynard for 2. Taylor, on the other hand, showed plenty of maturity in his impressive innings. Apart from him being tall and left-handed, you could have been excused for thinking this was his namesake. He played some splendid shots in what was easily the best knock of the innings. With his partners running out, he looked for the big shots, and in doing so, he gave new overseas signing, the Indian international, Pragyan Ojha, his 1st wicket for Surrey. Taylor was out for a very nice 70. Nathan Buck and Hoggard added 16 in 10 overs for the last wicket before the Indian spinner struck again, having Buck taken off bat and pad at Silly Point by De Brain. In 65 overs, Leicestershire had been dismissed for 167 at tea. So a much more experienced Surrey side had the last session of the day to confirm their dominance, and there's few better players at stamping their authority on a game than their captain, Rory Hamilton-Brown. He wasted no time in attacking the Leicestershire bowlers, here depositing Buck for a big 6. Buck soon had his revenge, however, as on 17 the Surrey skipper gave Dixie a catch behind with a slightly lazy-looking drive. That, though, is the way that Hamilton-Brown plays in a very exciting Surrey top order, which is mostly full of shot makers. Steve Davis is certainly one of those, and he showed off his skills with some exquisite strokes off Buck, who was proving to be a little expensive. Although there were a number of young players on view in this match, we also had the lovely sight of a bowler as good as Hoggard taking on a batsman with the undoubted quality of Mark Ramprakash. On this occasion, Ramprakash won the battle. He'd made 22 when he gave Thakur a moment he will never forget. Ramprakash had already been a professional cricketer for 7 seasons when Thakur was born, yet here he was trapping the legend in front for his maiden first-class wicket. It would have been worth celebrating with a pint, had he been old enough. Thacker and Taylor both bowled tidy spells, although they were unable to prevent Davis from completing his half-century before the close. It was the former England man's fourth of the summer and had come off 75 balls. So Surrey finished the day very much on top, possibly as you would expect. They will resume on the second morning on 122 for 2, with Davis on 54 and De Bruyne on 19. That means that they only trail by 45 runs with 8 wickets to play with. Those young Leicestershire players will have plenty of time to shine over the coming days.